West. The 5-2 Oakland Raiders take on the 4-3 Seattle Seahawks on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football?
The AFC West is pro football's dominant division, with 4 teams battling for a postseason berth. The wonder of all is Oakland's silver and black. Keyed by the league's #1 defense, the Raiders are a surprising 5-2 and roll into town with the swagger of old. Seattle has squandered a 3-0 start and dampened the dreams of a division title. At 4-3, they must show resolve in a division where only the strong survive. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Oakland Raiders on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! I mean, really ready! Are you ready for some football? A Sunday night showdown! Hey, the Raiders and the Seahawks! You never know how it's gonna turn out! The stadium is rocking with all my rowdy friends. It's Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Let's launch this thing now!
Welcome to the great Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington, on the first Sunday in November. And inside a sold-out Kingdome, where they're more than ready for tonight's huge division battle. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, along with Joe Theismann and Paul McGuire. It's great to have you with us. The Oakland Raiders have won 4 straight games for the first time in 7 years. And with a win tonight at the halfway point would be a surprising 6-2. Joe, John Gruden's calling card says offense, but it's the defense that's gotten them this far.
Well, Mike, you know what's even more surprising than the 6-2 record at this point is the fact that right now they were ranked, they're #1 in the league. Last year they were ranked 30th. A large part of that improvement has to do with the 2 corners, Eric Allen and the rookie sensation Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson basically just had 1/4 of a rookie season. He's been sensational since then, but tonight, Michael, he's going to get challenged by the old master, Warren Moon.
And Warren Moon's ribs are finally feeling good enough for him to start again in a game that Dennis Erickson says is huge for his 4-3 ball club. And he's hoping, Paul, that Warren Moon can reignite what's been a struggling offense.
Well, this offense for the last 4 weeks has been unacceptable. 4 offensive touchdowns in 4 weeks. But with Warren Moon healthy, it allows his team to run Dennis Erickson's offense. That's 3 wides and 1 running back. There's 3 guys that are very happy about this. Warren Moon, the first guy. Now he can throw the ball down the field. Ricky Waters, by spreading out the defense, he can run the football. But most importantly, Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway is going to be on Charles Woodson, the rookie, for the very first time. I think he'll have a big night.
All right, Paul, we said a major shootout in the AFC West. Joey Galloway and the Seahawks, Napoleon Kaufman and the Raiders on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Mount McKinley, the unlikely backdrop for NFL expansion.
Welcome back to the Kingdome in Seattle. Let's get down to the sidelines. Solomon Wilcots with head coach Dennis Erickson.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you made the decision to start Warren Moon after being out nearly a month with the rib injury. Are you concerned at all about the timing of your passing game?
There's going to have to be some timing learned as we get into the football game. That's what happens when you miss some time.
Now you're 1-3 in the conference, already lost 2 games in the division, 1 each to Kansas City and Denver. Is this a must-win for your team tonight?
I don't know if it's a must, but it's a real key game for us.
Okay, thanks, Coach. And Mike, you know what? If Seattle's going to win this game tonight, they're going to have to stop Napoleon Kaufman, who's gained over 100 yards in his last 2 games here at the Kingdome.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. And there's John Gruden, the youngest coach in the NFL, trying to resurrect the fortunes of the Raiders in black, the silver and black, and he is certainly on the right track. Leo Araguz to kick to Amon Green and Kerry Joseph. Green, the rookie out of Nebraska, with tremendous speed. And a 57-yard kickoff return a week ago. Amon Green at the 5. drilled shy of the 20. Here's the Seattle offense. Warren Moon starts for the first time since breaking his ribs a month ago. The injury derailed a fast start. Waters has helped the running game, but Galloway is the big threat. He came into the weekend second in the conference, 556 yards on 31 catches. The offensive line has not played up to its potential. Jones, very athletic, has a chance to be one of the best up front they've had in years. Moon to throw. First down. And his first completion up to the 35. He's got a first down to Pritchard. Anthony Newman made the tackle, ripped off the helmet, but it's a gain of 15.
As Paul mentioned in the open, Seattle wants to spread this field out a little bit. They're going to go 3 wides. That's Pritchard on the outside. He goes inside to Allen, who's in zone, and just sits down in the soft zone.
Well, look at Warren Moon's throw. They said he was throwing the ball very well on Friday, and again on Saturday. He is healthy again.
And that's bad news for secondaries. Moon again over the middle. Fourier, the tight end of the 40. 2 strikes from Warren Moon.
Joe, you had to know they were going to go to Fourier on that play, because the play before that, he was wide open going down the middle. Fourier gets off the line of scrimmage, and again, the play before this, when he threw the ball to Pritchard, he was open. Watch Fourier coming down the left-hand side of the screen. He is wide open. You got a linebacker on him. Greg Beekert, that ain't going to work.
Christian Fourier out of Colorado, a starter for most of 95 and 96, lost his job a year ago. Finally in great physical shape, and he's got the job back. Ricky Waters gets 5. The Raiders defense has had outstanding play up front, especially from Maryland's leadership and Russell's return to tackle. With James Folston still out, Terry Wooden gets the start at linebacker along with Beekert solid in the middle and Harvey. In the secondary, Woodson and Allen have had a tremendous impact at corner. The veteran Lewis starts for the injured Eric Turner at safety. And there is Charles Woodson, the only defensive player ever to win the Heisman Trophy. Moon on a little half roll. Galloway with his first catch, dragged out of bounds.
This is the offense that the players wanted to run. Bob Rutkowski, the offensive coordinator, Dennis Erickson, the head coach, said, we want to put the players out there who can make plays for us. What Rutkowski did on that play is he puts Joey Galloway in the slot. It becomes a real tough place for him to be able to double somebody. Now he's gone out to the sidelines, Galloway has, with a hurt left arm or shoulder.
You can see the concern on Dennis Erickson's face as he watches his best playmaker go to the sideline. Ronnie Harris, number 81, replaces him in Seattle's offense. Waters wide open in the flat, and that's where Warren Moon goes. It'll be a gain of about 3 as the defense closes quickly. Eric Allen with a stop.
The last play, Joey Galloway was in the slot. Warren Moon sprints out on a little quick out to him. As he makes the reception, he starts to turn upfield, and now he just gets yanked down. It looks like he landed possibly on that left arm.
Kevin Glover is down. They can't afford to lose him.
3-time Pro Bowler that they got in free agency from the Detroit Lions.
You know, it just seems, Joe, when a team starts to put it back together again, and Galloway will probably be back, and so will Glover, we hope. Well, they're helping Glover off. He may not be. But the thing about it is when you start to put your team back together again, you get your quarterback back, and then you lose people again.
We'll check on the condition of Kevin Glover when we come back. Kevin Glover was assisted off the field. Chris Gray, the backup, is hurt for the Seattle Seahawks. So rookie Jason McIndoe, as you look at Glover, will come in. He was elevated from the practice squad this week. More than doubled his salary. He said he needs the money for his wedding in February. Waters picks up a couple. Darrell Russell makes the tackle. McIndoe was being paid $3,300 on the practice squad. He more than doubles that as a member of the active roster.
You mean he gets $6,600?
No, it's more like $84.
Oh, okay.
And he won't have enough Pepsi for this game.
I can take his stomach.
You know, when you're on a practice squad, you know, all of a sudden, now you make the active roster. Well, you know, we figure we're going to play. Well, I'm not going to play. Just kind of sit around. Wrong.
3rd and 4 on the opening drive. Waters on the toss. Dives toward the 20. He's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Lance Johnstone covered him up. And we've got pushing and shoving after the play.
Mike, Dennis Erickson's football team goes all the way down the football field in 3 wides, okay? Right after Glover goes out, they go back to 2 backs. They run a running play, gain a couple yards. They run another running play, gain 2 yards. I'm not sure that, you know, even though you want to try and feature 2 backs, you don't want to take things off the field that are working for you and spreading them out. I don't quite understand the philosophy change on offense there.
Todd Peterson will try a 38-yard field goal. You saw how successful he has been at home. 10 out of 13 overall this year. And nails this one straight down the pipe. So the Seattle Seahawks open strong on offense and take a 3-0 lead over the Raiders. Joey Galloway's left wrist. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott.
Thanks, Mike. I'm told that Seattle wide receiver Joey Galloway jammed his left wrist. However, he will return to the ball game.
Well, we saw him getting it taped up, Solomon. He also appeared to take a pain pill. I'll get him ready.
Vitamin, Mike.
It's a vitamin.
Sure.
Vitamin.
Desmond Howard waiting on the kickoff. He has not been the same kick returner since he left Green Bay. Howard from the 3. Has a seam. Shoved out of bounds shy of the 40 by Sean Springs after a return of 35. For the Raider offense, Donald Hollis starts his 3rd straight for the recovering Jeff George. He played well in last week's win over Cincinnati. Napoleon Kaufman had almost 1,300 yards rushing last year. Number 2 in Raider history. He's on a pace to exceed that. Up front, veterans except for the rookie Mo Collins. It's his job with Pat Harlow on IR. He is a very good pass blocker. Napoleon Kaufman. And take a look at the Seattle defense. They have playmakers up front, starting with Michael Sinclair, the AFC leader in sacks with 9. Darren Smith out with a bad ankle, so Wells moves outside. The rookie Miles starts in the middle. Brown stays on the right. A good secondary speed at the corners, toughness inside. Williams, a Pro Bowl starter a year ago. Hollis to throw for the first time. Kaufman in the flat. First down and out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Napoleon Kaufman, if he did not prove a year ago that he was an every down back, he proved it last week. 31 carries.
Well, he had close to 150 yards rushing. You see 143. He has got to be a big part of this offense tonight. It does 2 things. It keeps Seattle's potent offense off the field, and it also eats the clock up and allows the Raiders to be able to play their kind of football, which has now become pounded out.
Kaufman on the ground and in the air near midfield. Dan Saliamoa in on the tackle.
One of the things the Raiders would like to do with Kaufman is get him on the perimeter, get him outside. Well, that's all well and good, except we talked to Seattle on Saturday, and what they said, they're not going to allow him to go there. They're going to force him to run inside the tackles.
The other thing he's learned to do, Paul, is he's learned to be more patient and try and take the 1- and 2-yard gains.
Darren Smith, the tremendous free agent acquisition. He's made a remarkable defense even better with his presence at outside linebacker. Hollis double clutch, throws complete to tight end Dudley to the 43 near another first down. Jay Bellamy, the strong safety, made the tackle.
Ricky Dudley, they really expect big things from Ricky Dudley. And when he goes down, watch what he does here. He'll go down and settle in the open area, makes the catch, turns back upfield. I tell you, that's a nice catch and run.
And Donald Hollis does a nice job of just staying in the pocket, focusing on the one receiver that he has to go to and cutting the ball loose. Hollis is a lot more mobile than Jeff George is at the quarterback spot, and you can see him use his legs probably through the night.
Harvey Williams checks in at tailback. Seattle's defense has been unable to stop a 3rd and 1 all year, and they don't do it here. Williams gets the first down. They want to keep Harvey Williams involved in this offense.
One of the reasons when you look at the film on these guys and the things that Seattle does when third and short, and they can't stop the run, Michael, you can't. If you're going to stop the run and they're going to run up the middle, you have to take a gap. You cannot run around a player. That last time, Philip Daniels runs around a player and opens the hole.
Kaufman is back in behind the rookie John Ritchie. Pressure on Hollis. And throws to Tim Brown. Great job by Donald Hollis to avoid the sack and make a play. Joe, you just said his mobility gives him an edge.
Philip Daniels, 93, is coming around on 79. Mo Collins, watch him come around the right side. Mo gets caught up inside. He gives up the edge. Hollis does a nice job of feeling the pressure, but yet keeping his eyes downfield. Now, Timmy Brown just continues to work. You see him slow down a little bit and then make an outstanding grab for the completion.
Another first down for the Raiders. Kaufman. Sean Springs up from the corner.
Well, you see Chad Brown, the linebacker, number 94, gets to the outside. Again, we talked about the fact that Napoleon Kaufman and the Raiders, they would love to get him outside where he's got such great speed. But Seattle's not going to allow that. They're going to keep their linebackers outside and force everything inside.
They want to put the responsibility to beat them on the shoulders of quarterback Donald Hollis. 2nd and 8. Comes the blitz. And they'll blow the play dead.
That'll be on Mo Collins, number 79, and that's what the 12th man.
Snap. False start. Number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
That's what the 12th man here in Seattle can do, and that 12th man is these fans, and it gets loud here.
Gruden came in yesterday, sat down and talked to us. You don't know whether to burp him or talk to him. He looks like he's about 19 years old.
I don't want to burp him, I can just tell you that.
2nd and 13. Hollis for Brown. Touchdown. Donald Hollis with his 3rd touchdown pass of the year. Tim Brown beat Willie Williams, and Hollis threw it perfectly.
Whenever you see a corner beat like Willie Williams was on this play, he's got to be expecting help. Tim Brown does a nice job pushing outside. He comes hard inside. Willie Williams is looking. He sees the ball, and all of a sudden he looks and says, hey, what about this?
Well, look at the perfect pass, Joe. I mean, this ball has to be caught. Willie Williams has no chance on the ball. I agree. There should have been someone else to help him.
Greg Davis for the point after. So both teams have taken their opening possessions and scored. Seattle a field goal. The Raiders a touchdown to go ahead. It's provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above the Kingdome for ESPN Sunday Night Football. And middle of the first quarter, 7-3. Raiders over the Seahawks. Amon Green from the 4. Dives to the 25, cut down by Lewis Riddick. Tim Brown has just broken the all-time receiving yard mark set by Fred Biletnikoff. He had already caught more passes than Biletnikoff. There is Freddie, the remarkable receiver, who is now the wide receivers coach for the Raiders. Al Davis, the owner, has got to be enjoying this season so much more than the previous few. He has seen his ball club come alive. Moon for Galloway. They'll gain about 8 yards. Caught that one in front of Eric Allen.
You know what that was? That's a respect catch. You respect Galloway's speeds, and Eric Allen is a very smart player, but you don't let Galloway. Even Charles Woodson said it to us yesterday. If Galloway gets one step on you, he's gone.
2nd and 2 for the Seahawks. Waters has the first down across the 30 to 36. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solomon?
Well, Mike, Seattle center Kevin Glover has pinched a nerve in his back. He had to be taken to the locker room, and I am told he will not return to the ball game. Mike?
Solomon, that is tough for the Seahawks, and it puts all the pressure on the rookie Jason McIndoe, just elevated from the practice squad. Moon with play action. Dumps it off to Waters. Shakes the tackle and dives to the 39. Initially got away from Richard Harvey. Then Biekert and Swilling took him down.
The one thing you have to keep an eye on with the Seattle offense is going to be the exchange between Warren Moon and Jason McIndoe. It could get a little shaky as the game heats up.
Well, but McIndoe, I mean, he does block on Grady Jackson, number 90. He gets a good block. He forces him to the outside. He stays with his man, and that's all they really ask him to do.
And you notice Warren Moon is going to do everything he can not to run with a football. Got to protect those ribs. Draw play to Waters. Nowhere to go. Lance Johnstone closed down from his defensive end spot, and Biekert, the middle linebacker, was there too.
Oakland's defense is so tough to run draws against because Willie Shaw likes to stun his people up front so much. And what I mean by that, you see the ends and the tackles looping around and linebackers filling holes. So you really can't set somebody up to create any kind of a running lane inside for the draw.
Best third down defense in the league, allowing only 20% third down conversions. The Bengals didn't get one a week ago. Bad snap. Moon on the hop, and he takes a shot. Johnstone was there in a hurry, and then Grady Jackson finished him off.
As you just talked about Jason McIndoe, I mean, you've got to make sure that the quarterback gets the ball.
Even whether it's a shotgun or whether he's under center. I mean, you have to understand it's noisy in here, and it's just so far away for Warren Moon. He's lucky he just got a hand on it to make a play on it.
Feagles is in to punt to Desmond Howard. He waits back at his own 20. Kicks it toward the sideline, and Howard makes the catch at the 23. One of Paul's favorite kicks. No return after a 44-yard punt. McIndoe on the sideline for Seattle.
The Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator, Greg McMackin, has got a philosophy of defense where he likes to create triangles. We'll show you with our ESPN pre-play. All his linebackers, you see, are located inside the ends, creating triangle looks with them at the point. You see Brown, Miles, and Wells lined up in respective positions. And what each of these men are responsible for, as well as the guys up front, are gaps. It becomes a gap-8 defense. Should be very difficult to run against. If everybody does what they're supposed to, somebody should be there to make a play on Kaufman.
Cortez Kennedy, who almost always occupies a couple of blockers along that defensive line to let the other guys run free. And a gain of maybe a yard for Napoleon Kaufman.
We just showed you what the pre-play looked like. Now here it is. There they are. You'll see everybody filling gaps. Everybody's got a gap. They're all the triangles. Now watch as the ball is snapped. The linebackers flow to their gaps. Good discipline by everybody. Just staying home. They realize Kaufman likes to cut it back.
Here comes the blitz. Hollis in the flat to Kaufman. He can't handle
it. This is not the situation that the Oakland Raiders want themselves in tonight. They do not want to be in third and long. John Gruden realizes how loud this is, and he's got a rookie left tackle. And things can get a lot worse if you got long yardage, because Greg McMackin will bring the house.
If you're going to blitz him on second down, you might as well blitz him on third down.
The Seahawks have 29 sacks this year coming into the game. Hollis to Brown, first down. There's a flag on the play. Another good throw by Hollis.
Number 27, defense. The penalty is declined. Complete pass, first down.
Mo
Collins, Jr., talking about the rookie, number 79. He's blocking on Shad Brown, number 94. Watch on the right-hand side of the screen. There's Moke. Look at this position. I mean, he knows he's got help to the outside. That's okay. And then here's the pass.
Donald Hollis does a nice job of stepping up and putting air under the pass so it can be completed.
Kaufman on the toss. Finally get him to the corner. Loose ball to 45. And the Raiders got it back.
It's going to be awfully dry out there trying to run wide on this team because they're just sitting there waiting on you. They're not going to allow Napoleon Kaufman to go wide.
Plus, if there's one area where Seattle's defense has improved itself, it's in the speed of their linebackers.
Second and 7. Kaufman and Williams are in there together now for the Raiders. Another blitz. Wells messed up the timing on the screen. Harvey Williams couldn't hold it.
Well, you know, that is such a great play by Dean Wells. He can't get to the quarterback. He knows the quarterback's going to try and throw a screen. Just get your hands up so the quarterback cannot see the man he's throwing to. 95, Dean Wells. Watch this. He gets up. Now there's just no place for Hollis to throw the ball. He has to throw it away.
Wells playing out of position, an outside linebacker tonight. He has been the starter in the middle, but because of Darren Smith's injury, he goes to the outside. 3rd and 7. 3 wideouts for the Raiders. Here comes the blitz. Hollis got away. Throws it. It's caught by Mickens. Holy cow.
You know, when we played Sandlot, we couldn't draw him up like this. What a terrific job by Donald Hollis. First of all, the Seahawks have him where they want him. They're going to bring the blitz. The blitz is coming right in his face. Mark Collins is around him. Bellamy can't get him. Now he breaks loose. Now he looks downfield. Okay, I'm going to try and make a play. I can't get it to Tim Brown. He tips it to Mickens. What great control to make the reception.
The former Green Bay Packer, who has been elevated to the 3rd receiver this year. Fred Thomas is into the defensive lineup. Sean Springs was hurt on that play. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with an interconference battle as Eddie George and the Tennessee Oilers pay a visit to Warren Sapp and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. That is the end of the first quarter at the Kingdome. Offense galore. 7-3 Raiders over the Seahawks. As we start the second quarter in Seattle, a big game in the AFC West, the Raiders and the Seahawks. Raiders ball 2nd and 13 in Seattle territory. Another blitz. Hollis too high for Brown and it's intercepted. Picked off by Willie Williams, who was burned earlier for the touchdown. A break for the Seahawks. Back to Seattle after this. Donald Hollis charged with an interception on that last play. Was really a pretty good pass, and he is a great story out of football for a couple of years. He's having a second opportunity to play in this league.
And he's been able to capitalize on it. Each week he's gotten better, and it's really been his ability to avoid the rush that's made the difference.
Tonight he really looks good. 2 weeks ago I asked him, I said, what happened between last week and 2 weeks ago? He said Kaufman last week helped me. He said, but I didn't play any better. But tonight he really is. He's the guy that's making this thing happen.
He said he was so tight in the first game against San Diego, he didn't want to let his teammates down, filling in for the injured Jeff George. Seattle takes over at its own 26. Moon under pressure, and he goes down at the 19. Lance Johnstone with his 7th sack of the year.
Lance Johnstone credited with the sack.
Tough to throw the football when there's no place to go with it. A good job by this Oakland Raiders secondary. Everybody's covered. There you see Charles Woodson. He's backing up. Now Eric Allen on Joey Galloway, just giving a little bit of room.
Lance Johnstone on Howard Ballard goes out, goes back inside, and makes the play. And just notice, though, he hit Warren Moon on the right-hand side. The bad ribs are on the left-hand side.
Here comes the corner blitz. Screen to Waters. What a great job by the Raider defense.
Both of these defenses are very difficult to quick screen on. That's just a quick drop back, dump the ball off, because they get to the ball so quickly. One of the things that Willie Shaw stressed when he got the coordinator's job in Oakland, he said, we're going to run to the ball. I need the athletes to get there, and we saw it on that play.
Willie Shaw has got to be the hottest coaching commodity in the NFL. When you take a defense that was last against the run, last against the pass, and elevate it to number one, you're a hot property. Moon with plenty of time, throws underneath the Waters. Beaker got him by the ankles at the 29.
Well, Seattle did one major change. They put Pete Kendall in at center instead of McIndoe, but it didn't help much.
And Andrew Green, a second-year man out of Indiana, number 72, has come in at Kendall's spot at guard. Fourth and 8. Howard waits at his 28-yard line. Returnable kick from the 31. Back to the 38-yard line where Jay Bellamy made the tackle on special teams. A return of 7 after a punt of 40, so the turnover doesn't happen. The Raiders take over at their own 37, leading 7-3. Kaufman, maybe a yard. That'll give him 7 carries for 10 yards.
One of the ways Seattle wanted to defend Tim Brown tonight was to put somebody on him, but they really haven't done that. It's hard to press a moving target, so Gruden decides to move him here. He makes a nice grab. Then Willie Williams thinks he has help down the middle. Brown catches this one for a touchdown, and a big third down completion. They finally rough him up a little bit, but he's physical enough to get away and make a play.
2nd and 9. Hollis. A strike to Jet. Dragged down at the 37 by Darrell Williams. A gain of 24.
Mike, one of the things that John Gruden said he wanted to do with Donald Hollis against Greg McMackin's defense is he wants to change his launching spots. That means he doesn't want him lined up in the pocket all the time, but moving around.
Well, this is kind of easy when you see Jet. Look at the room he has coming across the middle. There's absolutely no one around Jet until after he catches the ball, and then they're only within 5 yards.
I mean, that looks like a total prevent defense against the speedster from West Virginia. Hollis changing the play. They had men moving everywhere, and this one will come back.
You know, here's a situation, Joe, as a young quarterback. I mean, he's not young, but he hasn't played that much.
6 years.
And when everybody's moving around, take a timeout. You're in the second quarter of the game. Just take a time.
Illegal shift. 2 players in the offensive backfield moving simultaneously did not reset prior to the snap. Offense, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
I guarantee you one of the conversations that John Gruden is going to have with him, if not right now, is don't audible. Just whatever's there, let's call it, let's run it. Let's not create a problem for ourselves.
1st and 15, and it is deafening in here. Kaufman. Just not much to run through, and a marker is down on the play. Back-to-back penalties on the Oakland Raiders. Always among the league leaders in that category.
But they're not too close to the top this year. Better job by Gruden's staff. I mean, they haven't moved to sainthood yet.
Number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Darrell Ashmore. Now, one of the things we asked Gruden about his offense, the defense went from 30th to 1st. And we said to Gruden yesterday, offensively, what do you want to do? He says, we want to do what we can do. We're not, I said to him yesterday, I've talked to so many coaches, we want to go down the field, we want to do this. He says, we're going to do what we can do, and that's it.
1st and 25. Sidearm throw by Hollis. The ball is loose. Bellamy with the recovery, and now they're saying incomplete. shook it loose.
I can't wait to see this one.
I can't either.
Remember, he's got to have 2 feet down.
And possession.
And possession. Let's take a look at this one. Hollis does a nice job. Brown comes across the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to be kidding me. That ranks up there with one of the absolute worst I've seen. Watch this. 1, 2. Almost the third step, and then he gets hit.
The worst part about it is you can see him tucking the ball away. He has the ball put away.
Horrible call.
And a huge break for the Raiders. Flag is down. Ritchie in the flat. Dean Wells has him. And it looks like another hold against the Raiders.
You know,
on that replay, Paul, you know, it looked like if it was Secretariat, he would have had all 4 feet down.
You know, it was such a bad call because you could see that Brown had the ball, and the worst part about it is when he had time to tuck it away and protect it and still lost it.
Holding, number 76, offense. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
When you look at Tim Brown on this catch, now you counted the number of steps, Joe's 3, but watch his hands. 1, 2, now watch him tuck it in. He's got the ball put away, and Chad Brown knocks it out. That's terrible.
2nd and 35. Ritchie. And they get back about 7 yards.
That's my choice for 2nd and 30.
You know something? I used to look at the sidelines. You know what the coach would do? Gibbsy, he'd wave at me. It's the only time I got to call my own play, when it was 2nd and 35. He says, I got nothing here to help you with. You got yourself into it. Pick up a few.
Is that when they turned their back on you?
Yeah,
You're going, hey, yo.
It's important here that Donald Hollis protects the ball and picks up a few more yards to try and allow him decent punting position.
Harvey Williams comes in at tailback. Hollis to Jet. And they get to the Seattle 41-yard line.
See, this is one of the things that Gruden talks about. With his football team, we know, as he's saying about his team, we know we have a tremendous defensive team. Let's not do something stupid on offense. If we're going to pick up a few yards, that's fine. Maybe get in field goal range. If not, punt the ball away. There's going to be another time in this game.
And that's a tremendous philosophy by Gruden. I mean, he's not doing anything to put his team in a position to get beaten.
Exactly.
Ronnie Harris will go back to return the punt. And Eric Goose launches one.
Why? Why do you kick it in the end zone? Whatever happened to the coffin corner? Oh.
Turns out to be a punt of 41, a net of only 21. Goes Meal.
Dinner. Those are actually quarterbacks auditioning, throwing a fisherman.
Amon Green in at tailback. Pick up about 7. ESPN's college football lineup for next Saturday begins at 11 a.m. with College Game Day. College football show of record. Then at noon, Minnesota battles Ron Dane in Wisconsin, followed at 7:30 with Big East rivals Syracuse and West Virginia. That 7-yard pickup, the longest run of the game for either ball club. Moon on that little half roll and throws a strike for a first down to Blaze, the 11-year veteran.
A gain of 12 and the Seahawks first down.
Warren Moon's going to roll out to his right. He's got Galloway short, but then he sees Blades. Look at this throw. There's nothing wrong with his rib cage, I'll tell you that.
You don't think they missed Warren Moon? He's 9 for 9. Just got destroyed by Grady Jackson. Holy cow.
I think Grady Jackson was paid the highest compliment a teammate could pay somebody. Russell Maryland talked about him and said that Grady Jackson reminds him of Leon Lett when he was playing with them in Dallas. That's a pretty high compliment. Watch number 90 come off the ball. He just beats the block, goes around the corner, and nails him.
He just blew him up. 2nd and 14. Showing blitz. And moving up front by Brian Habib. The right guard came out of his stance.
Well, he's the guy that missed the block.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 68, offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Both teams have hurt themselves with mistakes here in the first half.
There is no excuse for the home team and your offensive line, especially when you're the guard sitting next to the quarterback, to move.
Now 2nd and 19 for Warren Moon. 10 for 10, Christian Fourier.
I think you will see Warren Moon's throwing the ball very well right now, but I don't think the center quarterback exchanges have been real clean and confident yet. As this game goes on and he gets a little more comfortable with Pete Kendall, I think you'll see him get back like you saw in that play and deliver the ball with even more crispness.
How about Pete Kendall getting comfortable? He's never played center. Problem on the exchange. Amon Green. Terrible mistake. Tried to pick it up and run with it instead of falling on it. Somehow he got it back. What a break for Seattle. And now they're saying the Raiders have it.
Michael, I will tell you that every kid from starting in grade school, you are taught one thing: fall on the football.
Warren Moon and Pete Kendall really working together for the first time. Quarterback center exchange. He brings the ball up, but he leaves his hand on it a little too long and doesn't let it go. Warren can't take it away, and now Green tries to pick it up instead of exactly what you said, Paul, instead of just falling on it.
One official signaled Seattle had the ball back, but obviously the Raiders have recovered. Kaufman in at tailback. Behind Ritchie, trying to sweep. And Sean Springs, a nice job coming up from the corner to turn him back in. And it looks like Kaufman may be hurt.
You know, the thing that Amon Green did is just, I mean, it is so bad because your team is in trouble. You're struggling. Don't make it worse. Fall on the ball. There's a whole half to play in this ball game, and some.
Kaufman comes out. Harvey Williams is in. Hollis throws low for Jet, and he can't scoop it. Jet was open. Donald Hollis missed him that time.
That's what happens when you're throwing the ball backwards. There's one guy in the league who can do it, and that's number 4 up in Green Bay. Brett Favre can throw it falling backwards, falling sideways, doing whatever he wants. Donald Hollis does not plan himself and follow through to throw the ball. Watch the way he throws this. He sets now, but watch. See him going backwards with the throw? You got to. It's just like a fighter. You got to be willing to step into Sally and Lewis rush if you're going to get it there.
Yeah, you go ahead and step into that rush.
3rd and 9. Hollis throws too high for Dudley.
You want to say that again?
Oh, sure. I've stepped into, you know, of course I've lost my 3 front teeth, but I've stepped into them.
You stepped into Harvey Martin a few times.
That's how I lose my front teeth. Amon Green caught a break here. The defense did their job, bailing him out after he couldn't jump on that fumble.
Didn't he ever? Greg Davis will try to take advantage with a 47-yard field goal. He's at 10 out of 15 this year.
From the Citadel.
High snap, and it's blocked. They didn't even get it off.
That should be a penalty. Should be an illegal forward pass.
Pete Rodriguez has made a huge difference in Seattle's special teams, and I think 55 was probably in an illegal formation to catch that ball. These overhead shots of beautiful Seattle provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above the Kingdome for ESPN Sunday Night Football. Seattle takes over at its own 30 after the boxed field goal attempt. Moon to Crumpler. Neither one of these teams, Paul, able to run the ball at all in this half.
I don't know if I've ever seen a game where you've got a little over 5 minutes to play, and each team has 14 yards rushing, and especially with the caliber of players that they have.
I think it speaks to the volume of the defensive jobs being done.
Amon Green checks in at running back on 2nd and 3. Green will get the carry. Nothing there. Taken down by Richard Harvey, who has given them great leadership. And Swilling also in on the play. Harvey picked up from New Orleans as a free agent. Swilling out of football a year ago, the longtime Saints star. Willie Shaw has really assembled quite a cast.
Well, you know, bring in Newman and Allen and Harvey from New Orleans, who knew his system, was really a great move of bringing the veterans in to help everybody else learn it.
3rd and 6, Joey Galloway, only 2 catches so far. Is it a catch by Pritchard? It is. Caught at the 47-yard line. It's a first down.
This is the presence of Warren Moon, Joe, that makes this thing. He waits and waits and blocking in the offensive line. But you got to look at the time Warren Moon has to throw the football. Then he waits and he waits, and then he delivers out to the outside to Pritchard. Look at this. Pritchard makes the catch, gets it. Here's what I'm talking about. Watch the time that Warren Moon has to throw the ball. He just sits back, surveys the field, throws the ball. That's easy.
End around to Galloway. They try to get the ball to Joey Galloway anytime and any way they can.
I'll tell you why you have to run a play like that with Joey Galloway. The Raiders pursue so well. To open up running on the strong side or the onside, the way you want the runners to go, you got to be able to bring the reverse back to keep those backside guys from chasing. Willie Shaw's defense will chase all over. This should keep those backers home a little bit more.
You see Richard Harvey, number 52, going, oh, no. I'm out here by myself.
Galloway picked up 5 on the reverse, 2nd and 5. Waters struggling to get something out of it. Back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a half a yard.
You know the one thing about Ricky Waters just I mean, he just keeps driving and driving and driving. Grady Jackson is playing the tackle position. He's the one that ran over Habib before. Number 90, look at this. He just takes Kendall to center and pushes him out of the way. He actually makes the play. Waters goes down because of his arm pulling him down.
Jackson so strong at 6'2", 320. 3rd and 5. Moon hangs in the pocket, throws a strike for a first down. And this is going to be an unnecessary roughness call at the end of the play. Albert Lewis came flying in and drilled Fourier as he was lying on the turf.
Mike, you know, Albert Lewis, I don't think intentionally tries to hit anybody. It's not his nature. You know, they always say, well, look at the guy's history. Albert Lewis doesn't have the history of coming in and doing that.
Well, the reason they call this play is because he takes his shoulder and hits him right in the head.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 29 defense.
Fourier makes the catch. Albert Lewis is going to try and get him down. He comes down and comes in. I mean, you know, the guys on the ground, you know, are you supposed to, is it just a two-hand touch game? I mean, I don't know.
Fourier was making no effort to get up. That's about the only thing you can say.
That's his fault.
That's right.
Not Albert Lewis's.
That break for Seattle gets the ball down to the 16-yard line. Fourier's become a big part of this offensive scheme. Caught by Galloway, nearly picked off by Eric Gallen.
Mike, I don't want to beat a dead horse into the ground here, but they have gone 3 wides to get to this point. Again, they come out in a 2-back set when they get into the red area. Now, basically, you say to yourself, if you're Bob Rutkowski, you do that to try and run the ball a little bit more. I'm not sure if that's going to be effective for this offense. Galloway in the slot just loops out a little bit, makes a play, and Eric Gallen almost takes it away from him.
Warren Moon has thrown the ball 14 times. He's completed all of them. Waters to the 13. That 14 in a row is only 1 shy of the club record of Jim Zorn. Warren Moon, of course, used to setting records wherever he plays. We have reached the 2-minute warning at the Kingdome. The Raiders lead, but the Hawks are driving. Two minutes to go in the half. 3rd and 7 for Seattle. The blitz on Moon. Ricky Waters with a spinning catch. Waters to the 6. Well, Warren Moon almost didn't get that 15th in a row, but Ricky Waters made the fine one-handed stab.
I really love to watch Ricky Waters play football. I mean, when he runs the ball, he gives you 100% every single time. When he catches the ball, I mean, look at the things he does here. He makes sure he turns his body perfectly to make the catch. Now he sees where the first down marker is. I've got to get to that marker, and he does. Picks up the first down.
No, he did not get a good mark. They're calling it 4th and 1. We'll be back for that right after this. Fourth and 1. The Seahawks will go for it. They have not made a 4th down conversion this season. Waters on the call. He's got this one. Out of bounds at the 1. Max Strong with the lead block.
You talk about determination with the football. When you get the ball to Ricky Waters by the goal line, just watch him explode. If you just look at Ricky Waters' legs when he explodes, look at him. Strong gets an excellent block. Look at his knees up in the air, and then unloads on the defensive back. Strong gets an outstanding block, just knocks him to the ground. And when you do that, and Eric Gallen goes down, boom.
And Ricky Waters delivered the blow at the end of that play. Warren Moon under pressure, got away, throws, touched it. Crumpler with a catch. His 42nd birthday, Warren Moon can still move around. He bought time and hit Crumpler for the touchdown. Todd Peterson with the point after, and the Seahawks have taken the lead over the Raiders.
James Folston, number 55, has a shot at Warren Moon. He's right here. He's going to come in. Moon's going to spin around and make the throw. Here comes number 55. He goes hard inside. He's got a shot at Moon's backside. He turns. Look at his throw. I take it back. There is one other guy who can throw falling backwards, and that's Warren Moon. What a great job of going down to get the ball by Carlester Crumpler.
Crumpler did not have a catch all year coming into this ball game. He caught 2, one of them for a touchdown tonight.
You know where he came from? The right-hand side of the offense. He came all the way across the field, and Moon found him in the end zone.
Well, there's a picture of perfection. Warren Moon is spreading the ball out. Look at how many passes have been under 15 yards. been successful with the one he tried to go up 4 behind the line of scrimmage. He is spreading the ball all over this Raider defense.
A club record 16 straight completions.
One place he's not going, that's deep against Charles Woodson. Yet.
And you can't overemphasize the tremendous run of Ricky Waters. He runs as hard as anybody in football. Desmond Howard will wait for the kickoff. Back with Calvin Branch. 1:13 to go in the half. Branch from the 5. And he only got back to the 16-yard line. Kerry Joseph, the former quarterback and running back turned safety, was the first man down on special teams. Coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, Chris Berman will be along with the fastest 3 minutes in television, including highlights of the 49ers and the Packers and the PGA Tour Championship that went to a playoff.
Donald Hollis has plenty of time to get his team down the field. He has 3 timeouts. Now he gets a lesson in how to manage a 2-minute drill.
Draw play, Harvey Williams. Seattle not having any of it. And they don't appear to be in any hurry, Joe.
I think, you know, it's a decision made by Gruden. You're in a hostile environment. You're on the road. You're just down by 3. You guys have played a good first half. I think it maybe is a good decision. Why put the ball in the air and have a mistake happen?
And they get the ball back in the second half. So, you know, why make a mistake here?
Draw play to Williams again. And, Paul, it goes back to the point you made earlier when we talked to John Gruden. He said we're not able to do yet what we want to do. We're doing what we can do right now on offense.
And that's exactly right. Why make a mistake here and give the ball back to Seattle, who have 2? They still have 2 timeouts. Run it out. There's always a second half.
The Seahawks and Warren Moon, who had 16 straight, will take a 3-point lead to the locker room of the sold-out Kingdome. That's the end of the first half. The score, 10-7. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Mercedes-Benz halftime report. Back to start the third quarter in Seattle, Washington, where the Seahawks take a halftime lead of 10-7 over the Raiders. A belated Halloween to you from the great Northwest.
Quite a crazy Halloween weekend. Minnesota goes down. Denver barely gets by. The Redskins actually won a football game as Carolina did. Don't look at me like that, Paul. They did. I swear. I'm not kidding. It really did happen this weekend. Be leery of Halloween weekends. Of course, Kansas City losing changes the complexion of this game just a little bit for these two ball clubs.
That was no treat at Arrowhead. That was a trick. Todd Peterson to kick to Branch and Howard. Desmond Howard from the 2. Has a seam up the middle, takes it to the 33. Take a look at the first half statistics and you will see an absence of a running game for both ball clubs. 22 yards running for the Raiders, 24 for the Seahawks. Both teams throwing the ball well, but Moon has been the star. 16 out of 16, a club record in the first half. Steve Young and Kenny Anderson share the NFL record at 20 in a row. Hollis under pressure, down he goes. Philip Daniels with a sack.
I'll tell you, this sack here is on Hollis. I mean, Hollis has got to step up because Mo Collins is the guy out on the left tackle blocking on Daniels. But watch the rush. He goes upfield, goes all the way around. Hollis, if he steps up just a second sooner, boom, the fake. If he steps up now, he can throw the football, but he doesn't. Just a great play.
2nd and 17. Kaufman. One of the few times he's been able to get by the line of scrimmage without somebody hanging on him.
By keeping the Raiders in long yardage situations, you're effectively doing what the Seahawks wanted to do. You put the ball in the hands of Hollis without Jeff George, who they expect may try and play a little bit next week. John Gruden's not sure, but they think he may be able to. But you're putting the ball in the hands of Hollis, and that's where the Seahawks defense wants it to be.
3rd and 11. Comes the blitz. Hollis hit as he throws. James Jett just outran that football.
Didn't I tell you about stepping into it? Huh? What's the difference, huh?
What a throw by Hollis, and what a go-get-him catch by James Jett.
Just the pure guts of standing in to make this throw. Seattle comes after him. It's 3rd and long. They're coming after him in a blitz, and they have got the sights on him. Kerry Joseph gets bounced. Here comes Bellamy right down his throat, and he just hangs it up. Jett does a terrific job of making a play on the ball.
1st down Raiders. They'll blow this play dead.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
7-time Pro Bowler Steve Wisniewski called for the penalty.
Well, you know, Joe, one thing, Joe, is the game of inches, football. Watch Bellamy. If he's 1 second sooner, he takes Hollis out, but he's not.
Hollis for Dudley, touchdown. Donald Hollis, filling in for the injured Jeff George, makes back-to-back plays to give his club the lead.
And you just get a sense of somebody getting a little more confidence. Donald Hollis feeling a little more confident. His teammates feeling a little more confident. Play action fake. Dudley releases up. He's right down the heart of the 2-deep zone.
Donald Hollis with another touchdown pass tonight, his 4th of the season. And they have quieted this crowd. And a flag is down on the point after.
Give me a rocket ball.
John Gruden and Pete Rodriguez waiting the call.
Action. On the defense, half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
So they got another chance to do it with Davis out of the hold of Araguz. Adam True is the snapper for extra points and field goal. Second-year man out of Nebraska. Good snap, good hold, perfect kick. The Raiders take a 14-10 lead as Donald Hollis starred on this drive with 2 perfect throws. Raiders over the Seahawks 14-10 in a seesaw battle in the AFC West. 12:53 to go. 3rd quarter. Araguz to kick it away. Green and Joseph wait at the goal line. Short kick. Kerry Joseph bowls his way close to the 30-yard line. Seattle starts from there. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern. Join Mike Tirico, Tom Jackson, and Sterling Sharp for the latest word around the league. Then at 8 on ABC, Monday Night Football. Troy Aikman and the NFC East leading Cowboys take on Irving Fryar and the Eagles. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. Warren Moon with 16 straight completions. 4 short of the NFL record. Waters gets about a yard. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Thanks, Mike. At halftime, I asked Dennis Erickson if he was surprised at the performance of Warren Moon. He told me that I'm never surprised at anything that Warren does. However, he said that he is concerned about the offense having to play with their third-string center, Pete Kingdome. Said he's never taken a snap in a regular season game. He said it will not change anything they do on the offensive side of the ball. Mike?
And Solomon Kendall's done a pretty good job in there. They had the one problem with the exchange to the quarterback. But that's asking a lot of a guy who has played guard coming out of Boston College. And Albert Lewis a little shaken up for the Raiders. Lewis is playing for Eric Turner at the free safety spot tonight. This is how big this game is. Kansas City losing today goes to 4-4. If Seattle wins this game, there would be a two-way tie for second. If the Raiders win, they get some space. They could go to 6-2 and have a two-game lead over both Seattle and Kansas City. And you have to assume there's only going to be one wild card coming out of this division. That's tough.
Keep in mind, Seattle plays Kansas City next week here. Then they go to Oakland to play them. So tonight and the next 2 weeks for Seattle are extremely important.
And second down and 8 yards to go from the Seahawks 32.
Seahawks at their own 32, second and 8. Moon on that little half roll. Fourier makes the catch. 17 in a row for Warren Moon, the oldest player in NFL history in the Pro Bowl a year ago.
Don't you think that everybody's trying to make, they got to know that he's going for a record. I mean, I think they would talk about it. This is 17 in a row. Moon coming back out, Fourier with the catch.
You know what it is? It's like, look at that. He extends himself. It's like when everybody knows a pitcher has a no-hitter working, guys are diving, trying to make plays. Everybody's putting that little bit of extra into trying to make a play.
Here comes the blitz. Moon throws underneath. Galloway can't hold it, but there's a marker down. If the penalty stands, it would wipe out the incompletion.
I would think. And it does.
Yes, sir.
That could be on Greg Beaker, number 54, on Christian Fourier.
Holding. Defense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They get Richard Harvey instead.
Both Richard Harvey and Greg Beaker were trying to cover the tight end in the middle where Joey Galloway was crossing.
John Gruden with that wry smile after the call. So Moon is still on track for an NFL record. 3 more to tie, 4 to break it. Right now he's thinking points. His team is down. Waters to the 48-yard line.
Oh, that was, you talk about a beautiful hole on that side of the ball. Walter Jones and Andre Green, I mean, they just opened up a hole for Ricky Waters. He picks up, what, 9 on the play, 8 on the play.
For those of you wondering what the gold-colored line on the field is, it is our latest technical innovation called ESPN's First and 10, a visual reference for you to always know where the yard line and offense has to reach for a first down. First and 10 exclusively on ESPN. Waters stutter step. First down across midfield into Raider territory. That was nice.
Yeah, it really was nice. He just stopped and waited for the linebackers to go by, and then he went up and made the first down.
It's you see me now, you see me now. It's a stop. You're right. Great patience and hesitation. Ricky Waters starts into the line, doesn't see anything, so he stops. I'm invisible. You can't see me. Here I go. Then he breaks through the hole. Nice vision.
Four-man rush against Moon. Over the middle, knocked away and intercepted. It's picked off by Albert Lewis. Lewis has got a chance to go. Touchdown. Warren Moon's first incomplete pass is the 41st interception of Albert Lewis's career and a 74-yard touchdown return.
You throw the ball down the middle of the football field, if it gets tipped, you got problems. There's Fourier going down the middle. It's up in the air. Albert Lewis, who told him he would come back and play only if he had a chance to play free safety. That's exactly what Willie Shaw allowed him to do. There goes the ball. It gets tipped by Newman. He does a nice job. Keep it alive. Albert Lewis takes it off his shoe tops.
The 16-year veteran, as Joe said, moved from corner to safety. They were concerned about his ability to tackle, but they've really been surprised by the way he has played at that spot, and he runs 74 yards. My, haven't things turned around. The Seahawks were driving. The Raiders with an Albert Lewis 74-yard interception return, and the first touchdown return of his brilliant 16-year career. Amon Green, tremendous speed. Caught from behind at the 45 by Lewis Riddick. ESPN2's college football lineup for this Saturday at noon. ACC rivals Maryland and North Carolina. Then at 6, Mississippi State will face Tim Couch in Kentucky. And at 9, off to the WAC, Wyoming against Colorado State. This is a couple that is not getting along right now. This guy's in trouble.
That's where the Seahawks series begins.
Only 2 days a year, though.
Draw play, Waters. Back into Raider territory at the 49, where Richard Harvey makes the tackle. How much improved is the Raiders defense? 30th against the rush last year, 7th this season. 30th against the pass, 2nd this season. 30th overall, and 1st this season. For the first time, they have been ranked #1 in defense since 1987, and Willie Shaw has got to get so much of the credit. Warren Moon throws a strike to Pritchard at the 33.
Joe, you know, I've been watching Woodson, and we talked about all the different stances that he has where he comes up and jams. He has not jammed one time tonight. He is playing 10 yards off of the receivers.
Well, what Willie Shaw is doing is he's playing basically a zone defense. So you're not going to see Charles Woodson up in the face of Joey Galloway or anybody else. Here he is against Pritchard. He's just laying off, playing the zone. They're playing the way Willie wants them to.
Waters, that little stutter step again, gets to the 31, a gain of 2.
That was a little stutter step because Warren Moon didn't get to him.
Again, it's the exchange. There's still, the quarterback-center exchange is not as smooth as certainly you would like it. And it makes sense with Pete Kendall, of course, being there for the first time. Seattle does not have to panic or change what they want to do on offense. They can still pick their spots, run the ball, stay with the 3 wides.
If you joined us late, Kendall is in there at center from guard because Pro Bowler Kevin Glover pinched a nerve in his back. He's been out since early in the ballgame. Blitz on Moon, screen to Waters. And a great hustle play by Darrell Russell to come from behind and make the tackle.
Well, this is the one thing that Gruden was telling us about their defense and the defensive players were saying about this team, which made the biggest difference from going from 30th to 1st in defense. Now watch Russell, 96. He comes upfield. Here is the screen. He lets go of Ballard, and look at this. He goes back in and makes the play. Saves a 1st down.
5 yards to go from the 27.
3rd and 5. Seattle down by 11 points. Moon to the flat. Galloway has the 1st down. Got it in front of Marquise Walker.
6 yards. 1st down.
I just want to see Galloway one time air it out, Joe.
You know,
I really do.
You brought up the point about Charles Woodson not getting up on him. Willie Shaw doesn't want to see what you want to see. He doesn't want to see him. He'd like to see all kinds of catches by Joey Galloway, 5-6 yards. Willie Shaw would be a very happy man if that would happen all night.
1st down, Seattle, 7:24 to go, 3rd quarter. Moon, a strike to Crumpler inside the 10.
You know, you talk about professionalism. Warren Moon realizes he made a mistake. He has the ability to come out and turn it up 1 notch, and you see the difference. I was watching a game today with Brett Favre and Steve Young. Steve Young got sacked a lot. Brett Favre made a few mistakes. He turned it up 1 more notch, and Green Bay managed to win that ball game.
First and goal, Seattle. Waters just tripped up an ankle tackle by Newman.
You know, when you see Ricky Waters gets up and you'll watch him, he'll talk to himself and he'll do all these things. I remember we went to Kansas City, we were talking to him. I said, you know, what are you doing? He said, I'm yelling at myself. He said, you know,
right.
I should have scored. I should do this. I mean, I should be playing better. I'm not yelling at players. Everybody misconstrued what I was doing. He said, it's me. I'm talking to me.
Warren Moon still hasn't had one hit the ground. The only completion was an interception. The only incompletion, rather. Waters again, nowhere to go this time. The Raiders just poured through, led by Darrell Russell and Richard Harvey.
You know, you get it all the way down here throwing the ball. Here you go again. Go.
Well, you know, I still think you can spread them out and throw the ball down there. But obviously, Seattle and Bob Rukowski, the offensive coordinator, have decided that they want to run the two-back in the red area.
We talked about Darrell Russell hustling. Watch number 96, Darrell Russell, on the left-hand side of your screen. Do you think this is in great movement? He's the guy that gets Ricky Waters in the backfield.
The big difference, too, is he's back to playing defensive tackle. They tried him at end last year. That wasn't his bag. He's home and playing like he owns it.
Third and goal from the 8. And Warren Moon has to take a timeout as the play clock was down. 5:26 go in the third quarter. Back in a moment. The 21-10 lead. The second home sellout for the first time in a long time. Second consecutive sellout for the first time since '93. And the new owner, Paul Allen, is the guy who is responsible for the renewed enthusiasm. A co-founder of Microsoft. He bought the team, actually rescued it, and kept it in the Northwest. Third and goal for Seattle. Here comes the blitz. Moon to the goal line. Inches short to Pritchard. What a throw by Warren Moon. How did he do that?
I don't know many people in this league who can make that kind of throw. Running away to his left and managing to turn and make the throw. We saw the one he threw to Carlester Crumpler for the touchdown. This one's even better. Beekert comes right up the middle. Maryland's on hot pursuit. Look at him swing that thing down low and hard. Pritchard leans. And as he goes down, you see if he's in the end zone.
No.
Not quite. Good call by the official.
They'll go for it on fourth and goal, only inches away. Waters. Touchdown. And the Raiders are beside themselves.
Brady Jackson makes an incredible play. Now, somebody called it a touchdown. The Raiders are claiming it's a fumble. Watch number 90 at the bottom. Ricky goes up. Does the ball break the plane? Yes, right there the ball breaks the plane. Touchdown. That's all he had to do at the top. Watch when he turns. The ball breaks the plane right there.
Boy, Albert Lewis, number 29, makes a tremendous play. Look at Albert Lewis. He meets him up in the air.
There's where the ball breaks the plane.
Sure did.
Boy, not by much, but of course you don't have to.
They will go for two. It's 21-16. And they got in by the smallest of margins. But the officials called it immediately. Each line official on each side of the field raised their arms immediately. Here's the two-point conversion to make it a three-point game.
Charge timeout. Oakland. This is their first charge.
And the Raiders take a timeout. Timeout on the field. 4:35 to go. Third quarter. The Seahawks have made it 21-16. They are coming out to go for two to cut it to 3. Two wide receivers both to the top of your screen. Moon to the back of the end zone. Pritchard.
Boy, they've done a good job of sprinting Warren Moon out. They go slot over there, whether they hit Joey Galloway short or Pritchard deeper. They've got a great combination working out of that formation.
But I'm sitting up here watching Warren Moon, and I've watched this man for years. Have you ever seen him throw the ball as well as he's throwing it now? Watch this. He makes a decision. Look where that ball is thrown to Pritchard. There's no chance.
Well, you got to remember also, not only has his ribs healed, but he's been able to rest his arm for 3 weeks. I mean, he's had a pretty long bye in the middle of the season here. Now, I'll show you why this is a touchdown. Here's the line. That's the goal line. And I want to show you. The ball is right there. As long as the ball just catches a piece of that goal line, it's in the end zone. It doesn't have to go all the way in. It just has to break it like it would be a pane of glass. And the ball breaks it.
And
that's why it was a touchdown.
And the officials did not hesitate at all.
Nope.
As soon as it reached that point, they called the touchdown.
When he saw the ball up there above Albert Lewis's head, through the plane, it was a touchdown.
We have a 3-point ball game in the Kingdome, and here's the way the quarterbacks have played. Hey, even though Hollis doesn't live up to the percentage, look at what he's done. 2 touchdowns and a pick, 224 yards. He's played a terrific game as well.
Isn't this amazing? And talking to the Seahawks and their defense, and the only thing that they wanted to do was stop Kaufman, which they have done. Kaufman's got 17 yards.
And put the game
in Hollis's hands.
Right.
Now I'm not sure they want to do that.
No, I go back, Doug. You can't let Kaufman get started.
They're on their feet in Seattle. Howard from the 11. Desmond Howard down the sideline, taken out of bounds. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne bring you up to date on the day in sports. The top stories, the 49ers and the Packers, the playoff in the PGA, our conversation with Jeff Gordon. That's followed by NFL Primetime. Chris Berman and Tom Jackson with all the highlights of all the games.
Did Jeff Gordon do something again today? I mean,
it's a weekend.
It's a weekend. He probably did, didn't he?
Hollis starts from the 37. Kaufman's been held to 17 yards rushing. Picks up about 5 here. 143 yards on 31 carries a week ago for Napoleon Kaufman.
Hey, Mike, Desmond Howard has done a much better job given the Raiders' field position tonight than I've seen him do it in a long time.
There's the numbers from last week as they ran it 53 times between Kaufman and Williams. The quick out for Jet is incomplete.
See, I think this is a good down, really, where you've got the defense in a bind. Are they going to blitz Gruden or are they not going to blitz him? You could even take the time here to give the ball to Napoleon Kaufman, have him have an opportunity to maybe pick up the first down.
Blitz him.
And now Hollis has to take the timeout. .355 to go, third quarter. It's a 3-point game. The team in the NFL will have played 8 games. The halfway MVP, it's got to be Terrell Davis.
Well, maybe Terrell Davis. But there are other guys that have to be considered. Really, Randall Cunningham, what a great job he has done with Minnesota.
How about the guys in the AFC? Vinny Testaverde, 5-0 as a starter. And, of course, you can't forget Flutie Mania. There's a guy who's really come on through the first part of the season. Now, I don't know if he'll continue, but he certainly has put on MVP type of shows in helping the Buffalo Bills get back in that race.
Terrell Davis.
It's hard to go.
Well, you got to go first.
I know that. This place is going crazy. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Kaufman. Cut down.
Oh.
Williams came up from the corner and took his feet out from under him.
Boy, you know, I'll tell you something, Joe. When you have a blitz on, and that's what they did on this play, but when you have a blitz on, everybody has to be in a particular spot. And that time, Williams was there.
We talked about the disciplines on defense. Mike Sinclair made that play by forcing Kaufman outside.
And now Joey Galloway will get a chance to return a punt. They put him back when they've got some room to run. Araguz hangs it high. Galloway peeks at the coverage. Trying to get outside. Joey Galloway back to the 33, a 17-yard return. That was pretty.
Joey Galloway, in my opinion, and Deion Sanders are the two most exciting kick return men in football.
We were just talking about the halfway MVPs. Don't forget Steve Young. Rating again over 100. What else is new? Davis with the tremendous rushing yards. Cunningham with that incredible.
Phenomenal.
He just had a remarkable season. And Vinny, 5-0 as a starter. Amon Green is in at running back. Cuts it back. Nowhere to go. Stopped at the 35. Grady Jackson, another tackle. He has had a big game.
You know, when you're talking about Galloway, you just know that everybody on the bench and everybody on the kick, punt, return team, punting team are saying, get him. Somebody get him.
2:39 to go, third quarter. Seahawks down by 3, face the 2nd and 7. Moon short set. Pritchard can't hold it. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with an interconference battle as Eddie George and the Tennessee Oilers pay a visit to Warren Sapp and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Join Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. And both of those teams may have saved their seasons today with huge wins.
Eddie George put a show on today, Joseph.
Third and 7. Moon was swilling after him. Got away from Walker. A flag is down. This may be a face mask.
There's a flag down on the field at the 17-yard line.
And it is. Marquise Walker got there after swilling missed, and look at John Gruden.
I can tell you this is not a smile of approval.
No.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Grabbing the face mask, 5-yard foul only. Number 38, defense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Marquise Walker, I mean, it's not a first down. Look at this, hands up in the air, and then he comes down. Now, they call this incidental. He grabs it, doesn't turn Warren Moon's head. He just slips off of the face mask. When you do that, it's only a 5-yard penalty.
It was nearly a 20-yard sack. Warren Moon showing tremendous escapability tonight. Third down and 2 after the penalty. Moon wants to throw for it. Under pressure, lost the ball. The Raiders have it recovered by Grady Jackson. Darrell Russell shook it loose.
Now, this is what you do when the ball is on the ground. Russell makes the play. Grady Jackson does the smart thing. Don't try to pick it up. Just fall on the ball. Let the offense do the scoring.
Darrell Russell, number 96, right here, is going to go right through and beat Andrew Green. He's going to wind up with a handful of Warren Moon. Goes hard up outside. Then he takes the corner and just brings the right hand around, swats it out of Warren's hand. You see him bring that right hand around, knock the ball out.
Warren Moon has fumbled the ball more times than anyone in NFL history. 157, and that one could be very costly to his ball club. Russell has been a terror inside for this Raider defense.
Both Willie Shaw and John Gruden make the point. The biggest difference in this defense, and Paul, you mentioned it, but it's worth saying again, are the 4 guys up front. They have been bringing heat on Warren Moon all night.
157. He surpassed Dave Craig. Hollis pump fake. From behind, he lost it. The Raiders got it back. From behind, Philip Daniels got a hand on the ball, another hand on Hollis.
You know, enough can't be said for both of these defensive lines and linebackers. Mo Collins is going to get beat for the second time this evening by Philip Daniels. Watch this. He beats him, comes up, and just strips the ball away. They don't get the ball back. Hustle by the Raiders gets the ball back. But that's just an outstanding play.
I'll tell you one thing, though. If you get beat, at least he's around there to make a play on the ball.
2 sacks for Philip Daniels. 3rd and 12.
Here they come.
Hollis unloads to Tim Brown. Brown to the 17 and should have a first down. I'll tell you the side of the field the Raiders have done a great job on, and that's Michael Sinclair. Lincoln Kennedy has been blocking against him all night. We haven't heard of Sinclair.
Donald Hollis standing in strong, getting the ball in rhythm. Watch the job of the offensive line, just sliding and picking up people. Even with the free runner, he gets it off. Tim Brown does a nice job. There was a ball at that height that he let get through for an interception. That one didn't get through.
Kaufman bounces down near the 11. And that's going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter with the Raiders driving again.
Got a feeling we're in racehorse football?
Absolutely. End of 3 periods from Seattle. 21-18 Raiders. The Raiders with 15 minutes to go, trying to go to 6-2. Seattle needs a win to stay even with the Raiders in the AFC West. A win by the Seahawks would make them both 5-3, tied for 2nd place. 2nd and 5, Oakland. Hollis overthrows a wide open Dudley.
Oh, Michael Sinclair. We haven't called his name all night long, but he doesn't make the hit. He gets his arms up and makes Hollis throw the ball away. Michael Sinclair, watch what he does. They're going to run a bootleg to his side. He sees the quarterback. He knows he can't get there. All you have to do is get your arm up in the air and make him throw the ball over top of you.
3rd and 5. Movement up front, Sinclair and Kennedy pointing at each other.
I would.
False start. Number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It's Darrell Ashmore who's in at right guard for the injured Derek Graham.
I always point to the other guy, don't you?
Oh, I was pointing to the other team. My guys never jumped offside. They were either pulled off or it was a mistake.
Look at the face on John Gruden. That is the 6th penalty on his offensive line tonight. 3rd and 10. The crowd into it again. Tim Brown dropped it. Hollis threw a strike and Brown couldn't hold it.
Oh, John Gruden, I mean, you try so hard to call plays as a coach or a quarterback to get people in the right position to make a play. Donald Hollis makes this throw. He makes the right read. Good job by Tim Brown selling the route. Now all you got to do is catch the football. It's not perfect, but it's close enough. You're an all-pro receiver. You got to make that catch.
Greg Davis will try a 35-yard field goal. And he hooks it through.
It's good.
That makes it a 6-point game, 24-18. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Solomon Wilcots, our entire ESPN crew with you in the Great Northwest. Raiders by 6, kicking off. Amon Green forced a yard deep into the end zone and gets it back to the 20. The Raiders had been known for years as a big play team. Tonight in the second half, they revived it. Hollis to Dudley, touchdown. The pick by Albert Lewis, a 74-yard touchdown return, and then Russell strips Warren Moon. That leads to a field goal. At 38 years old, Albert Lewis now the oldest player to return an interception for a touchdown.
Can you believe it? It's his first one.
That's remarkable.
It's incredible.
Broke Darrell Green's record, but then Darrell's not done either. Amon Green, his best run of the night, out near the 30-yard line where Anthony Newman tackled it.
Anthony Newman made the stop.
And Pete Kendall is down. Remember, he is in there at center because Kevin Glover was hurt at the start of the game, and Kendall moved from left guard.
They tried Jason McIndoe for a series, and then he was replaced after the snap and the shotgun went awry.
McIndoe was just brought up from the practice squad, and he's the only one left who has experience at all as a center.
Dennis Erickson doesn't have many choices. That's Christian Fourier, the tight end. There's a sigh of relief from Coach Erickson.
And from the offensive line coach.
And
Fourier's had a big night, too.
And from us, we got it right.
The last case was 9 yards.
Well, you always do.
Just shy of the first down, second and short. Waters back in there, gets the first down across the 31-yard line.
For a couple of yards and the Seahawks first down.
You know, as fast as this game has been going, there's Tim Brown, and he's still thinking about, he's still thinking about that missed catch.
I'll tell you something, he'll make, if you throw that ball 10 times, he'll make it 9 times. That was the one that just happened to get away.
And now Anthony Newman having a little trouble at the end of that play. They're already missing Eric Turner, their other safety, as injuries having an influence on both clubs. ESPN's exclusive coverage of the Energizer Senior Tour Championship begins Thursday at 4 Eastern. Gil Morgan tries to defend his title against Hale Irwin and the other 8 top money winners at the Dunes Golf and Beach Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. All 4 rounds of the Tour Championship begin Thursday on ESPN. Play action by Moon. He airs it out, trying for Galloway. A lot of contact, no flag. Charles Woodson with excellent coverage.
Well, that's the first time, Joe, tonight that they went deep on Woodson.
And I think you have to do that. Charles Woodson, he loves to look at the quarterback. You see him looking in. When the ball is snapped, he moves. Now he keeps an eye on what's going on, and he just cuts loose. But look at the job he does. As long as he keeps trying to make a play on the ball and look back, he can have incidental contact. Look at how he can run. Now he turns it on. I'll tell you something. Watching Joey Galloway run with Charles Woodson is a treat. Not too many people can stay close to him.
Moon with a quick out this time. Pritchard with another catch and dives forward near the 40-yard line. He'll be short of the first down. That last play by Woodson, that was not a rookie play. He got over there so fast, got his shoulder in front of Galloway to cut off the route.
Mike, I don't believe that Charles Woodson can be put in the category of a rookie anymore. We saw him in the first game of the season against Kansas City. The first quarter, the Chiefs really lit him up. And then he said, right after that first touchdown, I said, enough of this, I'm going to relax and go play. And he's played like a veteran ever since then.
3rd and 2. Moon wants to throw for it. Galloway. Knocked loose. The Raiders have it. Picked up by Marquise Walker. Galloway got the first down, and then Woodson knocked it away from him. Rookie indeed.
Well, we saw his rookie quarter in Kansas City. Charles Woodson's only had a rookie quarter. Ever since then, he's been a veteran. That was in Kansas City. But watch this. Galloway's going to make the catch. Now watch what Woodson does. Okay, he got the ball. Now he just hits him. His shoulder strips the ball away. Boy, is this a great play. Here's Galloway just trying to make something else happen. He's just trying to tuck the ball away, and Woodson took it away from him.
Another break for the Raiders. They take over at the Seattle 46. Kaufman. Line of scrimmage and no more. We talked about Woodson's confidence as a rookie. Listen to what he had to say the other day.
A long time ago, I mean, every time there was a game, I was always the best in the game. So I always felt I was the best, and that hasn't changed.
Did you like his T-shirt?
Yeah, he just had a Superman T-shirt on, and he's living up to the rep.
Very tough to throw at him. They've only tried it twice tonight. Hollis, that one is tipped. Nice play by Dean Wells.
Dean Wells has had a super game tonight, not only rushing the passer, but also dropping back and making tackles.
I've also liked the way that Donald Hollis has just gotten back, set, and thrown the football. There have been a couple of instances where he's been forced to hold the ball a little bit longer. There's Willie Shaw with his defense. Now, there is a picture of a bunch of guys that are in this game. That's something you wouldn't see in the past as much, if at all, from the Raiders.
3rd and 11. Hollis in trouble. And they got him, and a flag down as well. Adams, Labauti, and Sinclair. What a big defensive stand by Seattle.
And this is going to be holding by the Raiders. Of course, Seattle will, I think, decline it to
Number
get their hands on
79
the ball.
offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
If the Raiders gain just 15 yards on that series, they have a shot at a field goal, and they go up 2 scores.
You know what? This is a 24-18 ball game, but you have to admit one thing. This has been a tremendous defensive game.
It's been wonderful. Big plays on both sides. Ronnie Harris waits back at the 10 for the punt of Leo Aragu. Another pretty kick. Harris. Lost the ball. The Raiders have it again. Kenny Shedd. And the Seattle Seahawks are self-destructing. Mike Morton knocked it loose from Harris.
Ronnie Harris makes the play on the ball, and he's just going to try and run to his right. There he comes to his right. He gets hit, loses control. Now he's stumbling a little bit. Morton comes in, knocks it loose. Shedd scoops it up, tries to get in the end zone. Watch this. He's stumbling, so he really doesn't have protecting the ball. What a great job by Mike Morton coming in and knocking it loose.
1st and goal. No signal. No touchdown.
Philip Daniels made the tackle.
5 turnovers for the Seahawks. You just can't win with 5 turnovers.
No, you can't. And special teams in a 16-game season will either win or lose 4 games for you. And here may be a case of special teams costing in this ball game for Seattle.
Ritchie, the fullback. Loose ball. Now the Raiders are saying they got it in the end zone, and they did. Ritchie fumbles, and one of the Raiders got it in the end zone.
Recovered by number 73 for Oakland. Touchdown.
Darrell Ashmore, who is starting for the injured Derek Graham, made the recovery in the end zone. What a break for the Raiders.
Boy, defensively, all you can do is put hats on people, and here they come. There it is. The ball gets bounced loose. It's just laying around. Now, all of a sudden, it comes flying out. And there you see Ashmore just sort of pull it into the end zone. Watch number 12. He'll tell you. There it is.
The point after is good. And the lead grows to 13. So a turnover leads to a touchdown for the Raiders. 6 left from the Kingdome. 31-18. Raiders over the Seahawks. One mistake after another for Seattle. And they have put themselves in a huge hole. Now they need 2 touchdowns to win. Aragu. Lines this one to Amon Green from the 5. Back across the 30 to the 31. The NFL's best pregame show, Sunday NFL Countdown, every week at 11 a.m. Eastern. Join Chris Berman and the faculty of Bristol University for the only 2-hour pregame show in football. And at 7:30, it's all the highlights on prime time.
Napoleon does go all the way.
29-yard kickoff return. Brings the ball out to the 33-yard.
Seattle will start from its own 32-yard line, down 2 scores with 10:46 to go. And around to Galloway, has to cut it back. And finally forced out of bounds, but he turned nothing into a gain of 9. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, the injury report on Seattle tight end Christian Fourier is that he has a slight concussion, and his return is questionable.
Well, it's a tough break for them. He has played very well, as has Crumpler, the backup at tight end. There's Fourier out of Colorado, a 4-year veteran who regained his starting job this year. Second, call it 2. Nice defensive play, knocked away by Anthony Newman.
Mike, we talked about what the Seahawks wanted to do in containing Kaufman, what the Raiders want to do in containing Galloway. He's had 5 catches tonight for just 30 yards. Willie Shaw's defense has shut down the big gun of the Seattle Seahawks in Joey Galloway.
And if you hold a guy who runs that fast to that few yards, you've got to be thrilled with it. Waters draw play, first down and more. Ricky Waters to the 46. Gain of 13.
There's a house out there playing. His name is Ballard, number 75. You want to watch somebody, number 75, watch him collapse the defense. Just takes him down to the inside, and that hole is wide open.
First and 10 Seahawks at the Raiders.
And Ricky Waters knows how to prance through it, too.
Albert Lewis did a good job of sticking his head in to make the tackle.
Fake the end around this time. Throw it to Waters from the flat, wide open. Ricky Waters, 30, 26. Well, you don't see him come back to a play like that quickly very often.
Well, the reason why they came back, remember the time before they handed the ball to Joey Galloway? Well, what Bob Rakowski, the offensive coordinator, saw was that Ricky Waters wound up underneath after the play fake. So now you just add one more element to the play. It's a good job of looking at a defense as a coordinator and expanding on plays.
9:05 to go in the game. Moon lost it. Recovered by Seattle. Brian Habib fell on it. That one just slipped right out of his hand. Grady Jackson putting the pressure on again.
Hey, Russell Maryland may have really stumbled on something when he talked about the abilities of this young man being similar to Leon Lett. He's number 90. He's on over Pete Kendall. There's number 90, the big guy right yonder, right there. He's just going to come on in and put pressure. I'm sorry, I mean Brian Habib, number 68. Habib gets his hands up, but Grady's just so strong. He pushes him back into Warren and just stays relentless.
Here comes the blitz. Waters with a good block. Almost intercepted by Eric Allen.
Eric Allen was just sitting there waiting. You know, when you see a guy make a move like this, Eric Allen makes a move, Joe, it's almost like he's been waiting all night long for you to throw that one ball that's going to be his interception for a touchdown.
And the reason why he can do it, Paul, is because look at his head. Look at his eyes. He's looking right at Warren Moon. When Warren makes this throw, he jumps it right now. He's just looking back. When Warren stops, he stops. Now he breaks and jumps the route. That one was almost too easy.
Allen is the number 3 active interceptor, 42 in his career, nearly at his 43rd. Another blitz. Moon wants a screen. Got it to Waters, but the Raiders were all over it.
They're so difficult to screen against, again, because of the activity up front. The linebackers, the defensive linemen, they're always stunting. There's a chance they can wind up where you don't want them, like they did on that play.
And Darrell Russell, that's the second time on a screen he made the tackle on Waters down the field. On this screen here, he makes the tackle right where Waters catches the ball.
Now you force yourself into a 4th down and 15, and you have to go for it.
Raiders had an extra man on the field. Seattle didn't snap it in time. They could have gotten a free 5 yards. Moon to the sideline, knocked away by Albert Lewis.
I'll tell you, that pass play was thrown to Albert Lewis. I mean, he was just sitting out there all by himself.
The Raiders defense comes up big. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam high above the Kingdome for ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Raiders would love to work on the clock right now. Only 7:22 left in the game. They're up by 13.
This is where, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you can't gamble much because they've got Napoleon Kaufman back there, and Greg McMackin on defense has got to be conscious. You don't want to give him a little crease, because if you do, especially on turf, he's going to go in a heartbeat the distance.
Wasn't it amazing? We talking to Gruden, said, what's the most important thing about this game tomorrow? Every game. Takeaways, giveaways. Al Davis is happy, but the Raiders have taken the ball away 5 times. The Seahawks won.
The Raiders on the verge of going 6-2. Kaufman got the first down out at the 44-yard line. Until that carry, he'd been held to 26 yards after averaging 100 yards in his last 2 appearances at the Kingdome.
The Raiders have relied so much on big play people like Jeff George in the past to carry the offense, and Tim Brown last year. They're winning without their big guns. They're winning as a football team. We talked about Kaufman loves to get to the perimeter. There he circles it, then he turns upfield. A lot of power for a guy his size.
Napoleon Kaufman came into the weekend 6th in the AFC in rushing. He's gone over the 600-yard mark for the season tonight. Kaufman again, a seam up the middle, and he got to midfield where Sam Adams got the tackle. For up-to-date scores, stats, and analysis on all the NFL action, log on to ESPN.com and log on to NFL.com for features like a game day in the football life of Lion linebacker Stephen Boyd.
You know the amazing thing about Napoleon Kaufman? When Seattle didn't know that he was going to carry the ball, they shut him down. Now that they know that they're going to give it to him on almost every play, he's gaining yardage.
Kaufman again. This time for a yard. Chad Brown and Dean Wells both there.
There's another thing about the Oakland Raiders. This is a different football team in a lot of different ways. One in particular. When John Gruden got this football team in the first mini camp, he had them run gassers the first day. 12 of them. Half the guys couldn't make it. So he got them together. He said, you guys are just out of shape. This is a very good fourth quarter football team now. Remember, they've won 4 games previous to tonight by 8 points, and a lot of them right at the end. So this is a football team that now can play 60 minutes of football.
And John Gruden is a heck of a coach. He's got a chance to be 6-2 after the disaster of last year that he inherited. Kaufman. Wells brings him down, but he appears to have another first down at the 44, and they are just eating up this clock.
That's the big guys up front. What you're doing now is you got Mo Collins at 325, Lincoln Kennedy at 335.
Steve Wisniewski, number 76. We haven't called his name tonight, but they've been blocking in the middle. He's going to block on Dan Saliamua. Look at this block. Wisniewski just takes him right on by the hole. Saliamua is number 97, and Wisniewski gives you the first down marker. You know, it's funny talking about Cortez Kennedy about Wisniewski and all the bad things you hear about this guy, a dirty player throughout the National Football League. He is not. Cortez Kennedy said he never has been.
Kaufman back to the line of scrimmage, or Harvey Williams checking back to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Lost by a yard, Deshaun Miles made the tackle.
There's Steve Wisniewski, and it really was. We asked Cortez yesterday, Joe, and we were talking to him. He says, I'm going to tell you something. The reason that they think this guy is one of the reasons that he gets labeled that way is because he does not stop until the whistle blows. He's downfield throwing a block until he hears the whistle. He just hustles, that's all.
Well, Sports Illustrated took his title away from him. They said he's not the dirtiest player in pro football anymore. It's Kevin Gogan. Wisniewski's only number 2.
Cortez said he never has been, not with him.
2nd and 11. Williams to the 43. Only 3:11 to go in the game. This drive has taken over 4 minutes off the clock.
Offensive linemen love this. And this is what offensive linemen live for. And it allows Gruden to be able to call the plays that he wants. You know, he puts Mo Collins over next to Steve Wisniewski, so the youngster can work with a veteran on the left side. Gives you a lot of bulk. You got a young, enthusiastic guy and a lot of experience. If you're going to run, it's a good place to establish the side to run to.
Dennis Erickson said this was a critical game for the Seahawks. They're in danger of falling to 4-4. Kaufman lunging for, Harvey Williams lunging for more yardage down to the 38. And now the Seahawks are going to have to use a timeout at the 2:26 mark.
Seattle. This is their second charge to the timeout.
We've got a timeout on the field. A 13-point lead for the Raiders. Welcome back to Sunday Night Football on ESPN. We're in Seattle, Washington, where the Raiders are taking care of business. 2:26 to go in the game, and they'll punt it away on 4th and 4. They're up by 13. Movement up front.
I'll tell you what, if this is against Seattle, this is going to be a first down.
It should be against Seattle because the defense cannot force a lineman to leave his stance.
And why would you be offside on 4th and 4 on a punt?
Well, they're trying to get him to move, and the rule doesn't allow it.
Encroachment, number 34, defense.
Reggie Brown.
5-yard penalty, first down.
That's a first down. It's Reggie Brown.
I mean, what is the point?
That's what Dennis Erickson just said to him. What are you thinking about? I mean, the rule is you can't draw the offense offside anyway, unless you haven't been aware of this rule.
Here it is on the left-hand side. He's down stance is Reggie Brown. There he goes. Look at this. I mean, the offensive man did not move. Now, you don't go pointing now. It's too late. You're the guy that drew him.
What a terrible time for only their 3rd penalty of the ball game. And this drive has been textbook for the Raiders. Seattle has 1 timeout left. Napoleon Kaufman stays in bounds.
Joe, you know, that should be termed a turnover, because you're getting the ball back. They're punting the ball to you. You go outside. You give them the ball back. It's like a turnover.
I would agree with you, except that I'm not allowed to make a change in the rules that way. I'm sorry. I really apologize for that, but I agree with you.
Look at this. Look sitting over there. There's not a whole lot of people talking to him either.
Hey, I also think that, like, for example, in a San Francisco game, when the punter lets the ball go through his hands for a safety, that doesn't count as a turnover.
It should be.
No, it's just a, it's just a, I mean, you wind up punting the ball away anyway, but I mean, that doesn't count as a turnover. It cost you points, and it doesn't count.
Well, now that would be a turnover. You're kicking the ball away again anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Seattle has got to go back and look at the start of this season when they started 3-0. With this loss, they will fall to 4-4. Kaufman protecting the ball, dives to the 25. They have carried the ball 10 straight times on this drive, 5.5 minutes off the clock. The 2-minute warning. It's a 13-point lead for the Raiders. Before this drive, the Raiders had rushed for 34 yards in the game. On this drive, they have rushed for 38 to salt it away. 3rd and 2. Kaufman hit in the backfield, stopped at the 25. And there's a penalty flag down. Tim Brown and Sean Springs pointing at each other.
Look at this.
The old offsetting penalty call.
Personal foul, number 24, defense. Personal foul, number 81, offense. These fouls offset after the dead ball. 4th down.
If they're going to do that, don't even throw the flag. This started a few plays ago, a couple of plays ago. Watch this. Here's Springs and Brown. Brown 81, Springs 24. Look at this. Wham! I mean, Brown hits him right in the head. Springs goes back and whacks him. Now, here's the other one. Here's the one where they call it on both of them. Look at these guys. They're face mask to face mask.
They'll play again in 2 weeks in Oakland.
They see one another, and, you know, depending upon how long Tim Brown decides he wants to play, they'll see a lot more of each other.
So they will replay third down with 1:54 to go in the game. Warren with that tremendous start, 17 in a row. But as it turns out, not nearly enough for the Seahawks. Kaufman diving across the 25. Wells with another tackle.
Well, the big key there, Mike, is Warren Moon completed 26 passes out of 31, but only for 201 yards. So what the Raiders did is they really stopped the big plays, which they have all year long. They just haven't let anybody get big plays.
And these are the updated standings. The Raiders will be all alone in second place. Seattle and Kansas City, two teams that had such great prospects at the start of the year, have fallen to 4-4, only one game ahead of San Diego. Darrell Russell with another tremendous performance. They'll go for it on fourth down, and Kaufman is not going to make it. Let's go to Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, one little known fact about Donald Hollis is that the Bengals thought so much of the young quarterback they were all ready to sign him to a long-term deal until he blew out his knee in the final game of the '92 season. For Hollis, that injury set off a chain reaction of misfortune. Since '93, he has undergone 3 knee operations and has been cut by 3 different teams. Before the game, he told me that he has now come full circle and was very excited about playing in tonight's nationally televised game. Mike?
Solomon, he was so much fun to talk to last night. John Gruden said he wanted to be more like Donald Hollis instead of somebody who looked to be very frightened about playing quarterback. He said, go back and look at those films of Rice when you ran around and made plays. He said he didn't want to look at those old films of Rice. Most of those games didn't turn out too well.
You know, he's a guy who can use his legs to make plays. He made some great plays tonight moving around in the pocket.
Seattle needs a miracle. 2 touchdowns in a minute, 3, no timeouts. Moon to Crumpler. Gets what he can. He gets out of bounds at the 37. The Oakland defense forced turnovers in the second half. Albert Lewis, 74-yard touchdown return. Russell comes in and strips Warren Moon. The special teams cough one up on a punt. 5 turnovers for Seattle. And those 5 turnovers resulted in 17 points. The margin right now is 13. Crumpler again to the 47. Their only hope, get a touchdown and try for the onside kick. And the clock is their biggest enemy. They can't stop it. 40 seconds to go. Almost intercepted again. The rookie Woodson had a shot at a touchdown.
I just don't think you're going to have a whole lot of opportunities to throw the ball out of bounds against these corners, because both Allen and Woodson, all they're doing is looking at Warren Moon. When he stops, they stop and break. That one just goes off his fingertips. Ooh, I can feel it. He sets, he looks, he breaks. Boy, he keeps such a nice low base. Has a nice explosion out of his back pedal.
And that's uncharacteristic for him. He's got great hands. They'll whistle the play dead with 32 seconds to go, and Andre Bruce may have jumped across the line early.
Well, you know, we talk about the devastation of as you perceive this for Seattle, but the fact that they get Kansas City and Oakland.
Right on snap. False start. Number 72 offense. 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
In the next 2 weeks, you know, they win those games, they're right back in the thick of it, right back in the middle of it. So
certainly in their hands.
Opportunity is in their hands, and you'd rather have it that way.
But when you let one get away at home, you've stabbed yourself in the chest.
Especially the job that Paul Allen has done in, you know, making this franchise into something special. 2 consecutive sellouts.
They have the season ticket base back over 50,000. Moon under pressure, throws a screen. Swilling almost had the interception.
I'll tell you one thing, they have not even come close to making a screen successful against the Raiders. Not even close.
Well, the way they do the way Willie Shaw runs his front guys, you're not sure where they're going to stunt to. And in this case, Pat Swilling, number 56, comes hard inside, and then he just settles back. He keeps an eye on Warren Moon, just like the corners are watching the quarterback. He instructs everyone to do it.
3rd and 15. Moon dumps it short to Waters. Ricky Waters straight down the middle of the field. He has a first down to the 29, but the clock runs.
First down, Seahawks. Pregame on the tackle.
Got to get up to the line and spike the ball. And they kill the clock with 9 seconds to go.
Well, for all of you people that wondered if Charles Woodson is ever going to play offense for the Raiders.
I was wondering, Paul, could you tell me?
I was wondering yesterday when I asked him. He said, yeah. Gruden said no. Guess who wins?
Guess what?
Yeah. No, he said I would like to. He smiled. He said I don't think it's an impossibility. But Gruden said just leave him right where he is. He's doing fine, thank you.
And Gruden's the only guy who gets a vote.
That's right.
Moon for Galloway. Woodson intercepted. No, out of the end zone. Thought he had the 3rd of his career.
I thought he did too.
And he yanked the helmet off. I don't see a flag.
Well, he took it off on his way to the sidelines thinking he had the interception. He goes back again. Totally focused on the ball. Goes up, makes the play. Comes down. But did he come down inbounds? It's a better look at it. Watch his feet. He lands with everything in the blue.
I'd give him that one.
I mean,
looked like the knee got down. That's all it counts.
The hand, the knee, the shoulder.
Now with 1 second to go. An impossible situation for Seattle, down 13. Moon running. He's just going to get out of bounds. And the Oakland Raiders have gone on the road. They have won 6 of 8 at the halfway point. Dennis Erickson sees his club fall to 4-4. Our final score, the Raiders 31, the Seahawks 18. Coming up next, Sports Center, Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne with a complete wrap-up of the day. For Joe Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcox, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Seattle. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.